Most people think their brain goes to sleep when they do. That's not how it works. Your brain, your eyes, they don't shut down at night. They go into repair mode. Quietly, efficiently, behind the scenes. While you rest, they clean out waste, reset memory, restore clarity. That's the design. But here's the problem no one talks about. They can't repair anything if they don't have the raw materials to do it. And that's exactly where most seniors are falling short. Not because they're doing something wrong, but because no one told them what to do right. By age 65, blood flow to the brain drops by over 20%. That's not speculation. It's data from the Journal of Cerebral Blood Flow and Metabolism. And when circulation drops, healing slows. Oxygen can't reach neurons. Nutrients can't fuel the retina. Memory gets sluggish. Eyes get dry. Sleep feels light and unrefreshing, like your brain never really rested. Most people chalk that up to aging. But the decline is not random. It's not irreversible. It's nutritional. It's structural. And it's happening in the hours when you think nothing's wrong while you sleep. I've seen this over and over again in my older patients. They try brain games, crossword puzzles, new glasses, but they still wake up foggy. They still struggle to recall names or adjust to morning light. Why? Because the body is missing the one moment it's built to heal, and the one habit that fuels that healing. And no, it's not about pills. It's not about expensive powders or supplements. It's about a few pieces of food, real food, the kind your body actually knows how to use. The kind that's easy to forget, but unforgettable once you feel the results. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 specific dried fruits that help restore brain and vision function overnight while you sleep. These aren't superfoods from exotic jungles. They're likely already in your kitchen. You just haven't been using them this way. And if this is your first time here, I invite you to subscribe, especially if you're serious about staying sharp, clear-eyed, and independent for as long as you can. Let's start with a fruit you've probably ignored your whole life, the raisin. But tonight, we're going to see it in a very different light. They sit quietly in your pantry, wrinkled, dark, forgotten next to the crackers and the tea. But raisins, for all their simplicity, carry some of the most concentrated healing compounds for your brain and your vision, especially if you're over 60. What makes them different isn't just the nutrients inside. It's how those nutrients interact with the unique stress your eyes and brain go through at night. Let's start with the eyes. During sleep, your retina doesn't rest. It works overtime to rebuild photoreceptor cells, recalibrate light-sensitive proteins, and clear out waste. All of this activity demands a steady stream of antioxidants and micronutrients. Without them, damage accumulates. Vision fades. This is where raisins come in. In a 2019 study published in the Journal of Functional Foods, researchers found that black raisins are rich in quercetin and resveratrol. These are not just buzzwords. Quercetin acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that protects the retina's tiny blood vessels from oxidative stress. Resveratrol, famously found in red grapes, goes one step further. It improves mitochondrial function in retinal cells, boosting their energy production so they can regenerate faster and more efficiently. Why does this matter? Because one of the most overlooked causes of vision decline in older adults is microinflammation, small, silent, and persistent. It builds up in the capillaries behind your eyes, slowly reducing nutrient flow and oxygen delivery. The result is poorer night vision, slower light adjustment, and more strain when reading. Raisins help reverse that process by keeping those capillaries open, elastic, and active. But the story doesn't end with vision. Raisins are also powerful fuel for the brain. Let's talk about iron. Most people associate it with red meat or spinach, but raisins provide plant-based iron in a form that supports neural oxygenation. According to a 2020 paper in the journal Nutrients, iron is critical for maintaining energy in the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory formation. Without it, your brain cells struggle to communicate, and memory recall suffers. Resveratrol also plays a second role here. In a 2017 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, Older adults who consumed resveratrol daily showed improved blood flow to the brain and performed better on spatial memory tasks. It did not take months. Some improvements appeared within weeks. Let me give you an example. One of my patients, a 71-year-old retired teacher, told me she always needed a flashlight for her nightly trips to the bathroom. After adding a spoonful of raisins before bed for 3 weeks, she said, "Doc, I can finally make it without stumbling or reaching for the walls. It's like my night vision came back." There's a reason for that. Raisins are dehydrated grapes, which means their polyphenols and natural sugars are concentrated. That matters, because your brain consumes up to 20% of your body's total energy, even while you sleep. The glucose in raisins helps meet that demand gently and without spiking blood sugar, especially when paired with a small amount of protein or fat. And here's what many seniors appreciate most. Raisins are easy. No blending, no measuring, no fuss. So how do you use them? Choose organic, unsweetened raisins. Avoid the ones with oil or added preservatives. About 1 tablespoon is enough. Eat them 30 to 45 minutes before bed. For best results, pair them with a small handful of raw almonds or a teaspoon of nut butter. This combination slows sugar release and boosts absorption of fat-soluble compounds. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smart, giving your brain and your eyes exactly what they need at exactly the right time. Before we move on, remember this. The smallest things often bring the biggest changes, and this wrinkled fruit, ignored by most, may be the quiet protector your vision has been waiting for. Dried apricots aren't just colorful snacks tucked into trail mix. For aging adults, they may be one of the most powerful and most overlooked tools for protecting the brain and preserving vision. And it all comes down to one thing: defense. Your brain and eyes are shielded by 2 intricate barriers: the blood-brain barrier and the blood-retinal barrier. These systems are designed to protect your most delicate tissues from toxins, pathogens, and inflammatory molecules. But as you age, those protective walls begin to thin. And when they do, harmful compounds begin to leak through. This is where dried apricots come in, not as a treatment, but as raw reinforcement. Apricots are among the richest natural sources of beta-carotene, the pigment that gives them their deep orange color. Once consumed, beta-carotene is converted into vitamin A, a nutrient essential for tissue integrity and immune regulation. In a 2019 study published in Molecular Nutrition and Food Research, scientists demonstrated that beta-carotene reduced permeability in the blood-brain barrier. That means fewer inflammatory cytokines slipping through, less swelling, more stability inside the central nervous system. But this isn't just about protecting the brain from toxins. It's also about enabling growth. Vitamin A plays a crucial role in neurogenesis, the process by which new neurons are formed. That process does not stop after childhood. In fact, in healthy adults, it continues slowly throughout life. But it requires constant support. When vitamin A levels drop, the brain's ability to regenerate declines with it. Apricots provide that support, and they do it in a form the body can easily absorb, especially when consumed in the right window. At night, before sleep, when repair mechanisms are most active. The benefits extend just as deeply to the eyes. The retina is not separate from the brain. It is a direct extension of the central nervous system, and it relies on its own blood-retinal barrier to keep vision sharp and stable. A 2022 review in the International Journal of Ophthalmology confirmed that vitamin A, along with carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin, strengthens this barrier and reduces the risk of degenerative conditions like macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy. That's not all. Dried apricots also contain vitamin E, copper, and iron, a trio that supports oxygen transport to the optic nerve. This matters because your retinal ganglion cells, the neurons that transmit signals from your eye to your brain, require intense energy, and if oxygen doesn't get there, signal quality drops. That's when contrast fades, edges blur, and vision starts to feel less crisp, even in bright daylight. One more piece makes this fruit unique. Apricots are rich in chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol more commonly associated with coffee. But in apricots, it plays a gentler, steadier roll. Chlorogenic acid supports glucose metabolism in the brain, keeping neurons fueled without causing sugar spikes. That means your brain stays alert enough to repair without being overstimulated. Ideal for overnight restoration. Now, how should you use them? The key is moderation and timing. Eat 2 or 3 pieces of organic dried apricot about 1 hour before bed. Make sure they're unsweetened and free of sulfur dioxide. You can eat them plain, or pair them with a few sunflower seeds or a teaspoon of almond butter to enhance the absorption of fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin A and E. You don't need to overhaul your diet. Just one small habit, done consistently, at the right time of day. Apricots are not just fruit. They are a form of biological armor, a natural line of defense for 2 of your most vital systems, your mind and your sight. Figs are older than medicine, revered in ancient texts, used by cultures long before we knew how neurons fired or retinas processed light. But now, science is finally catching up, and what it's revealing about this humble fruit is nothing short of extraordinary, especially for the aging brain and eye. Figs are packed with natural compounds the body craves after 60, polyphenols, potassium, magnesium, fiber. But what makes them truly unique is how these compounds act together, not just as nutrients, but as catalysts for repair, especially during sleep. Let's start with the brain. In a 2020 study published in the Journal of Food Biochemistry, researchers found that fig extract significantly increased levels of key antioxidants inside the brain, glutathione, superoxide dismutase. These are not optional. They are your brain's frontline defense against oxidative stress, the silent process that eats away at neurons over time. The result? Stronger cellular resilience, fewer damaged nerve endings, a better environment for memory to stabilize. But figs don't just protect, they help the brain rebuild itself. A 2018 paper in Nutritional Neuroscience showed that aged rats fed a fig-rich diet experienced enhanced synaptic plasticity. That means their brains were better able to form new connections, clearer memory, faster processing, more communication between neurons, the kind that helps you find the right words, follow a conversation, or remember why you walked into the kitchen. Figs also have a direct influence on the hippocampus, the brain's central memory hub. By supporting neurotransmitter activity and reducing chronic inflammation, figs create the conditions necessary for memory restoration, not just preservation. But the impact doesn't stop at the skull. The retina, like the brain, is a nutrient-hungry organ, and figs feed it in 2 critical ways. First, they provide anthocyanins, plant pigments, that improve microcirculation to the optic nerve. That means more oxygen and nutrient flow at night, when the retina is working hardest to regenerate. Second, figs help reduce glycation. This is a process where excess sugar binds to proteins in eye tissue, stiffening blood vessels and accelerating degeneration. A 2021 clinical review from the Journal of Medicinal Plants concluded that fig compounds improved blood vessel elasticity and slowed down age-related retinal decline. That's vision protection, happening at the cellular level. Now, let me tell you about Teresa. She's 68, sharp, funny, but recently started waking up with dry eyes and scattered thoughts. She said her mornings felt like walking through fog. I suggested something simple: 2 dried figs before bed, alongside a small spoon of almond butter. Within 3 weeks, she told me, "Doc, I don't feel scrambled in the mornings anymore. My eyes don't burn. I feel like me again." Why does that work? Because figs contain natural sugar, not in excess, but just enough to support brain activity during sleep. When paired with protein or fat, they release energy slowly. That helps your brain's glymphatic system clean itself more efficiently while you rest. Think of it like fueling the night shift crew without waking the house. Now, here's how to use them. Choose soft, organic, dried figs. Make sure they're unsulfured. Eat 2 of them 1 hour before bed. You can enjoy them alone or combine them with a few almonds or a small piece of cheese for balanced absorption. Avoid fig candies or jams. Those spike blood sugar and undo the benefits. This isn't about trends. It's not about superfoods or ancient secrets. It's about biology. Figs contain what your brain and eyes need most after dark: stability, support, and a spark of energy to carry them through the night. There's something comforting about dates. Soft, sweet, familiar. But behind their warm taste lies a neurological powerhouse. Because in the right amount, at the right time, dates can help recharge memory, protect the brain structure, and support visual recovery through the night. Unlike many fruits, dates offer a precise balance of glucose and polyphenols, a combination that speaks directly to the brain's deepest nighttime needs. Your neurons do not power down when you sleep. They shift tasks. Instead of handling decisions or conversations, they enter repair mode. They replenish neurotransmitters, clear out metabolic waste, reset firing patterns. But this process depends on fuel. Stable fuel, and dates deliver exactly that. Let's begin with their impact on memory. In 2016, researchers from the University of Sfax published findings in Neural Regeneration Research. They found that date fruit extract restored memory performance in aging rats exposed to oxidative brain damage. The mechanism was simple, but powerful. Dates increased acetylcholine levels, a key neurotransmitter for memory formation, clarity, and mental speed. This matters more than most people realize. After 60, the body naturally produces less acetylcholine. That decline doesn't just slow thinking. It disrupts your ability to encode new memories. You might remember the past, but forget the present. Names slip, thoughts fade, simple tasks feel foggy. By boosting acetylcholine, dates help bridge the gaps in those circuits, not just preserving memory, but energizing it. But that's only the beginning. A 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients confirmed that dates contain polyphenols that protect the hippocampus from inflammation and toxic protein buildup. Specifically, they reduce beta-amyloid, the same harmful protein strongly associated with neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. The less beta-amyloid in the brain, the more clearly signals can travel and the more freely memories can form. Then there's the retina. Dates naturally contain vitamin A and a group of compounds called carotenoids. These nutrients are critical for regenerating rhodopsin, the pigment that allows you to see in low light. When rhodopsin breaks down, night vision weakens, brights become glaring, darks become indistinct. But with enough carotenoids, the retina can recalibrate and restore sensitivity, especially during sleep. Dates also provide beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that slows digestion and modulates glucose release. This is essential for the brain at night. A sudden spike in sugar disrupts the brain's restorative rhythm. But a steady release of glucose? That keeps neurons firing cleanly, clearing toxins, and resetting for the next day. And here's what's often missed. The brain consumes nearly 1/5 of your total daily energy, and much of that demand continues overnight. Yet most people go to bed underfueled. They wake up groggy, disoriented, or emotionally flat. That's not just fatigue. That's an energy deficit in the most sensitive part of your body. When consumed correctly, dates offer a solution. 2 plain medjool dates, eaten 1 hour before sleep, provide a gentle glucose stream. Not too much, not too little. Just enough to support the deep neurological tasks that can't happen when your brain is running on empty. For best results, pair them with a few pumpkin seeds or a spoon of yogurt. This helps slow absorption and supports neurotransmitter synthesis through added magnesium and protein. The key is consistency. You don't need 5 dates. You don't need them every hour. What you need is 1 or 2 pieces regularly, calmly, at the same time each evening, to remind your body that recovery is coming. This is not just food. It is function. A small act that supports the restoration of what time and stress have slowly eroded. And for those waking up feeling less than whole, it may be one of the simplest ways to feel like yourself again. Now that you've met the 4 dried fruits that support your brain and your eyes, the next step is simple. Make them part of your rhythm, not as a strict plan, not as a checklist, but as a quiet, consistent ritual that helps your body do what it already wants to do, repair itself. Healing doesn't require dramatic change. It requires reliability. When you feed your body the right things, at the right time, it begins to respond, slowly, gently, night by night. So here's how you can turn this knowledge into action. Start by choosing 2 dried fruits each evening. That's it, just 2. Maybe it's raisins and dates on Monday, figs and apricots on Tuesday. Then switch it up through the rest of the week. Rotating them keeps your nutrient intake varied and your taste buds engaged, but you don't need all 4 at once. In fact, less is better. About 45 to 60 minutes before bed, prepare your snack. If you're using raisins, 1 tablespoon is enough. For figs, 2 soft pieces work well. Dates, 1 or 2 is plenty. Dried apricots, 2 or 3 is the sweet spot. This isn't about volume. It's about timing and intention. Now here's something important. Don't eat them alone. When you combine dried fruits with a little fat or protein, a few almonds, a spoon of nut butter, a slice of cheese, you slow down sugar absorption and help your body absorb more of the fat-soluble nutrients inside the fruit. That means more vitamin A reaches your retina. More antioxidants reach your brain. It also helps you feel full longer. That matters. If you often wake up at 2 a.m. feeling hungry or restless, this small change can help smooth your sleep cycle. If your mouth feels dry at night or you tend to wake up thirsty, sip a small glass of water with your snack. Not too much. Just enough to support digestion and hydration without sending you to the bathroom before morning. Then, you're done. No apps, no timers, no calorie counting. Just a handful of the right foods, eaten with care before your head hits the pillow. Try this for 1 week, 7 nights. Let it become your signal that the day is done and healing can begin. Notice how your brain feels in the morning, how your eyes adjust to the light, how your thoughts settle a little faster, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing something right and doing it consistently. What you're building isn't just a routine, it's a rhythm, a gentle cadence your body can trust. And it all starts with a quiet handful of fuel before the lights go out. If you've made it here all the way to the end, let me say this first. Thank you, not just for watching, but for caring about your brain, your vision, your future. Because when you take a few minutes before bed to nourish yourself, you're doing more than just eating fruit. You're sending a message to your body, a quiet reminder that healing is still possible. That clarity is not behind you. That your best days aren't lost, they're waiting. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe tonight, you choose a small handful of raisins with a teaspoon of almond butter. Tomorrow, 2 apricots and a slice of cheese. The night after, a soft fig or 2 with a few pumpkin seeds. You rotate, you rest, you repeat, not perfectly, not strictly, but with care. This isn't about rules, it's about rhythm. Each night becomes a chance to support the systems working hardest behind the scenes. Your hippocampus rebuilding memory, your retina restoring sensitivity, your neurons clearing waste, all while you sleep. Too many people go to bed depleted, underfed, disconnected from what their body needs most. But you're doing something different now. You're giving your brain the building blocks to remember. You're giving your eyes the nutrients to see clearly. And you're giving yourself something many people forget to reach for. Hope. Because no matter your age, your brain still remembers how to heal. Your eyes still want to adjust to the light. All they need is a little support. Night after night. 1 quiet ritual. 1 handful of healing. If this video meant something to you, please like it, share it with someone who needs it, or leave a comment below. I read every single one. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe. I'm here each week with more simple, science-backed ways to help you stay sharp, strong, and clear from the inside out. I'm Dr. James Porter. Sleep well tonight, and wake up brighter tomorrow.